Like everything else in this world, gym memberships have gotten pretty expensive. But what if I told you that without breaking the bank, you could have your own home gym and never have to wait for the squat rack again? Aside from just rising gym prices, owning a home gym is incredibly convenient and you're able to customize that space to perfectly fit your needs. Today I'm going to show you how to build a complete home gym in 2025 without compromising on results. The first thing you're going to need to purchase when building out your home gym is going to be the flooring. Now, flooring ranges significantly depending on what you're looking for, and honestly, you could spend your whole gym budget on flooring if you really went crazy. Depending on what you use your gym for may lead you to get one type of flooring or another, but what I've found to be one of the most durable bits of flooring at one of the most reasonable prices is stall mats from Tractor Supply. So these are all 4x6 mats. They're 3/4 of an inch thick. They're super heavy. They're somewhere between 50 to 70 pounds per mat. And these are as durable as can be. I took it up one level when I built this gym compared to my last gym and actually purchased extra mats and cut the mats so that all of the flooring fits corner to corner, which gave it a very professional look. And the best part, these mats are $59 per mat. Now, you don't need to cover your whole gym like I did. You could start out with 2-3 mats if you only need space for one person, but this is one of the best options that I've found, and I've been very happy with these mats for many years. So after getting all your flooring laid down, one of the big items that I'm sure you're gonna be really excited about is gonna be your rack. So this right here, this is the Titan T3 space-saving rack, and right now, this rack is under $250, which seems pretty crazy to me. Now, one thing I love about Titan as a brand in general is that they offer free shipping on everything. So this rack is super versatile. I can do pull-ups on this rack, I can do bench press, I can squat, I can do all sorts of gymnastics movements. But the additional factor that they have on this rack is that there's so many attachments that are compatible with it. So we have a landmine, we have a dip station, and my favorite part is that you're not pressured to buy all that stuff at once, like with some of the other brands where they don't have free shipping and you're stuck paying shipping per every single item, because that really adds up. Now, another really good way to save a huge amount of money is to keep it simple with the smaller items and to DIY as much as you possibly can. So a few examples of that: this dumbbell holder here, this barbell rack here. I don't even know what brand these items are, but they're made of the same high quality materials that the big brands use with much less of a price tag. Now, when it comes to DIYing, that's another great option that you can really save a lot of money. For example, this plate holder here was made out of 2x4s. All it was a frame, a few screws. This was very inexpensive to do, and it does a great job of holding those plates right in place. Same thing with this homemade box and this homemade desk here. Kind of just used the materials we had, and we were able to save a lot of money by doing this ourselves, rather than buying a metal plate holder or whatever these big brands are offering, and we get to put our money towards some of the things that we really wanted to get equipment-wise. When building a gym on a budget, don't be afraid to buy used equipment. Everything that I'm surrounded by right now, I purchased from Facebook Marketplace, and most of it is in really pristine condition. Now, there was a few things like the dumbbells that I did have to do a little bit of work to bring them back to life, but I spent significantly less on those items than I would have brand new, and it only took me a few hours of restoration to get them looking great again. So, funny story with this rower. This rower came up during the middle of COVID. Rowers were $1,200 plus. I saw this for $500 in Charlotte, which is about 3 hours away from me. I messaged the person that night. I said, I'll be there tomorrow at 8 a.m. I got up at 5 a.m., drove to Charlotte, drove back home. I was home by 11 a.m. My wife woke up in the morning and there was a rower in our garage, and she was like, where did that come from? Now, when you're purchasing on Marketplace, do your research, do your homework, make sure to test the products out so that they work properly before you pay for them and bring them home. But everything I've purchased has been just as good as the brand new things that I bought. If you do plan to buy new, make sure you explore all of your options. We have a lot of equipment in here from places that you probably wouldn't think to buy gym equipment from. This dip belt and parallettes are from Amazon. The same thing with our clock. Our stereo came from Walmart. These bands came from Target or Five Below. I don't even remember. But as the fitness industry continues to grow and garage gyms become more and more popular, there's a lot of sellers that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a fitness equipment seller that are starting to sell items at really good prices. Now, before you start purchasing equipment, I encourage you to use a 3-tier system. Tier number 1 is going to be your essentials or your must-have equipment. This is equipment that you're using every single day that you can't go without, and this will differ from person to person depending on how you use your gym and what your style of lifting is. Tier number 2 is going to be enhancing items. So these are items like, say, a weighted pull-up belt, some parallettes, things that I don't need because I can do push-ups on the ground and I can do pull-ups without weight, but things that will enhance my workout and kind of bring it to the next level and give me different variations to use. Now, tier number 3 is going to be the wish list items. So these are items, they're not essential items, they're not enhancer items. These are just items that you'd like to have. Everybody has a few items that they'd love to have in a gym, but you don't necessarily need them to meet your goals. Now, a good example of tier 3 items for me is going to be all this cardio equipment here behind me. So the rower, the Concept 2 bike, the Echo bike. At any time, I can go run outside for free. So these pieces of equipment aren't really essential to me. They were on my wish list, and after years of having a home gym, I eventually acquired them. Now, if I was training for certain things like an Ironman and I needed a bike, or if I was a rower and that was kind of the sport of my choice, then these items would be more essential. But for me, I just train to be healthy and just live in a functional manner, so they're not really necessary for my lifestyle. So to wrap this all up, the 2 biggest tips that I would give when building a home gym on a budget would be number 1, don't be afraid to buy used equipment. You can really stretch that dollar out and get a lot more in your space if you buy used equipment. And the used equipment's likely in better shape than whichever gym you're working at now anyway. And then the second tip would be don't feel stuck on one brand or one seller. Explore all the options when you're building your gym. So think about Amazon, think about Walmart, think about Rogue, think about Titan, think about who has free shipping, who doesn't have free shipping. There's so many options out there. And if you just scope in on one brand and say, I'm gonna outfit my entire gym with this one brand, it's gonna take you a lot of time and a lot of money to get there. Feel free to get creative and have fun with the journey. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below and I will see you on the next one.